All right, for more on this, we're joined in by Jessica Taneja. Jessica, good morning. We've just given a quick brief up of the developments, but you tell us how grave is the situation there, given the way Israel launched a fresh attack in Gaza that killed many lives. At the same time, there is pressure from international pressure on Israel to walk the talk. Put all this together, help us understand how grave is the situation.
Well, you heard from the U.S. officials who seem to say that the Israelis have, within a month, to bring up to speed its humanitarian efforts when it comes to Gaza and Lebanon. You heard earlier as well that there were reports of the strikes in southern Lebanon killing at least 20 people. Now the death toll has risen to almost 2,100 people, injuring more than 10,500 people. That's according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. And these reports, of course, coming out on a daily basis, the death toll only rising. And you speak about Gaza, more than 90 people killed there, which you were talking about, and that included 25 children. That was the worst strike on Gaza in the last 3 months, raising concerns over the catastrophic humanitarian condition on ground. Now, the area was Beit Lahia, and the Israelis have clarified from their end, saying that they couldn't understand why there were so many civilians in that area, given that the Israelis had put down an evacuation order and asked people to evacuate from that region, but there was still a huge civilian population present in Gaza. Now, simultaneous strikes continue. Meanwhile, the strategy on Iran as well, limited strikes on Iran's capabilities in military facilities and targeting also continues. Meanwhile, Iran mulls over an action plan that could help strategize and work on its own methods on how to respond to Israel, because as the situation escalates, there will be a return of rockets from both ends. So the situation in West Asia completely collapsing as we speak. More than a year of this crisis, and it still continues. And on top of that, Preeti, you've heard how there has been massive condemnation over Israel's parliament banning United Nations Relief and Work Agency, which has been present in the region for more than 8 decades and has helped provide education, sanitation, food, and other essential things, even mobile hospitals to an extent, to the region where those Palestinian refugees have been living for many, many decades now. And the situation only worsens. Imagine the cold, winter that awaits them in tents and no aid reaching them. So, of course, the Israelis, on the other hand, seem to say that many of the workers who are associated with the United Nations Relief and Work Agency are part of the terrorist group or the resistance that attacked Israel on October 7, and hence are terrorists for Israel, and they will continue to attack them and not allow any kind of activity or exchange of those personnel. So given that suspected, idea behind attacking or not even allowing the United Nations Relief and Work Agency to do its work, is what the Israelis say. But that has received widespread condemnation, not just from the United States, but also from the United Nations, saying that this is vital work and important aid to people who are already suffering and reeling under the war.
All right, Jessica, also analyze for us, how is Israel positioned here? With strikes coming in from Lebanon, with the Israel-Hamas conflict. Also, there is international pressure on Israel to, again, stick to its words. Put all this together, how is Israel positioned? Because it again says it will thwart any attempts by the international forces, if they attack its sovereignty. Help us understand what next, how is Israel positioned?
But it's very difficult to ascertain as to how Israel is positioned on this. For observers, Israel continues to be on a rampage where it would go to any extent to protect its territorial integrity, whatever land it has been seeking since its inception, and all those ideas that the Israeli land really believes in, and the hardliners of the politicians and the current lawmakers of the country are steering the course of the country to move forward. It has seen quite a lot of backlash, especially from South Africa, which has been constantly condemning Israel's action on the world stage and continuing to put pressure, but that hasn't deterred Israel from continuing to, go ahead with its military actions in what it deems as, terrorist activity and preventing the national security of the country. So given that rhetoric, it really gets very intricate and difficult to sort of look towards the future and say how and when this will end, because it's been more than a year. It continues. There has been international pressure from all sides towards Israel, but as you heard from the United States representative who said that Israel's military aid could be stopped if it doesn't improve the humanitarian condition, well, that will only be the future for us to be in the future to see, because at this moment Israel continues to bomb both Lebanon and Gaza and attack terrorists and even take down very senior leaders, you name it, Ismail Haniyeh, Yahya Sinwar, Hassan Nasrallah. So Israel has, not stopped at any particular person or any particular idea. It would go out to any extent, from the attacks on pagers to then on the walkie-talkies. There is really no limit, Preeti.
All right, Jessica.